Hey, what's going on, you guys? Kevin here. So it's been a few days, about 3, since I've started the Project Gamer Girl, which is the custom controller I'm building for my daughter. And I put about 5 or 6 coats on there, and it's still not really up to my liking. There's a couple splotchy parts and just certain spots that don't have enough coverage and stuff like that. So I'm just gonna keep laying down coats and layers until it's up to my stimulation and satisfaction. So I also found out that the 2 methods that I was using to apply her name to the faceplate just aren't going to work. The first one was using the stencil and kind of blocking off certain letters and then spraying it, but it was just really runny and didn't look very good. And the second thing I was going to do was going to be to lay masking tape across the entire faceplate and then take an X-Acto knife and cut out the letters and then spray paint that. But that doesn't really work very good because, for one, it's damn near impossible to flatten this out on a curved surface like this. So basically what I'm trying to get to is we're now on plan C. This project's been quite a challenge so far, but it's going to be worth it when we look at the final product. But what I'm actually going to have to do is just lay out 2 layers of this masking tape on a table, obviously not on my mouse pad here, but maybe on the table or a cutting board, and then just sit here with the X-Acto knife and cut them out, and then use that stencil to put over the faceplate, if that makes any sense. So let's get it. Alright, so I got 2 layers of masking tape here, and I'm just going to try and cut out her name. Hopefully this works, because this is plan C as far as getting her name in a stencil form so we can spritz it on the faceplate here. Which, by the way, this thing is awesome. Not only does it look fantastic, it's the exact color that, you know, her and I were looking for, which is baby pink. And it's also this really soft material. It's like a soft touch. It's really nice. It's plastic, but whatever they use to coat it just feels really good on the hand. Alright, so this is actually plan D on how I ended up getting her name able to be stenciled on here. It was a real beast, and the only way for me to do it was to buy 3 separate stencil kits because she has 3 A's in her name, and then cut out each individual letter and masking tape them together with masking tape on the back so it won't slide around. And hopefully this turns out good, because this is the 4th plan that I've had to get her name on this faceplate. Alright, so I separated the 2 boards here and then took some of this color changing stretchy cord or whatever. Hopefully you guys can see that. It's like metallic-y, kind of teal with purple and glittery accents in it. And just loop that through the stereo ports here, because, well, we never use that anyway. We just use the 3.5mm headphone jack, so she won't really be missing out anything from having this ran through there. And that will allow this cool little trinket to hang down. Just adding a little flare. I'm going to go ahead and trim the excess off. It was kind of difficult to tie it because it's just so small and everything, but I was able to do it. So let's go ahead and cut this. Bam. And this. Boop. Alright, cool. And go ahead and bolt the board back up. This is that stretch cord material that I used for the trinket that's hanging off the stereo port. Got this at Walmart. I think it was like $2 or $3. Now, these here, that one's going to go on the home button, that's going on the D-pad, and these 3 are going to be on the back in like a little pattern like they're flying. So I'm going to go ahead and take out my Dremel or electric cutter tool and cut off the little loop rings, because they're not going to be hanging from anything. They're going to be actually super glued onto the shell itself. So I'm going to go ahead and take off, slice off those little loopholes. Ooh, that's hot. These are a lot harder to cut than I thought. I thought they were plastic. They're not. They're metal. You can tell immediately from how hot they get from the friction of the sander, and also it didn't cut very easily. So I might just try and pry them off. So by using a little muscle, which I don't have too much of, but by using a little elbow grease and these little mini petite scissors here, I'm actually able to just cut them off. Hold on. To just cut these off, and then they pop off, and I can just use my sanding wheel to sand down that little extra lip on there so they look as if they never had little loopholes on them to begin with. So, perfect. Shit, that one might not even need to be sanded. That looks real good. So keep in mind, anytime you're doing any sanding, grinding, cutting, or anything that could have debris flying in your eyes, you wear some kind of safety glasses, because I've actually watched a kid in metal shop back in middle school have a burning hot piece of metal shrapnel fly in his eye, and I don't know how he's doing nowadays, but I know he sure as fuck wasn't having a good day when that happened. He's probably blind, and despite what Captain Jack Sparrow would like you to believe, eye patches aren't sexy, so keep that in mind, kids. Now ideally I'd like to have these clamped in some kind of a vice grip or something like that, but I don't have that here, so I'm just going to hold it with my hand and pray to God it doesn't slip and cut myself. Can't be no bitch when you're building controllers, boys. Suckers get warm pretty quick. Let me tell you, sister. Clutch.